assistant told me where you were. Well, they're fired.
Actually, I have a cousin named Elsbeth.
Tell her I'm sorry. I'm not sure it was an accident.
Oh my God, she's making sense.
I know.
An Elsbeth special event with back-to-back new episodes Thursday, April 4th on CBS.
There is an assault on the truth. Not your truth or my truth, but the truth. But what does the evidence say? When people see this lab, I want them to know we get it right.
A new CSI Vegas, next on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Crazy idea. What if we team up?
You have got to be kidding me.
I'm dead serious. Forget the papers. Where's the horse? Clock's a ticking. You and I, we could find Argo in half the time.
Split the reward.
It's big enough. We'll both get a payday. And the money is real. Funds are being held in an escrow account. A lot of reasons to work together on this one.
Yeah, well, a lot of reasons not to work together. Namely, I don't trust you.
How much time and energy did you put into thinking about my next move?
None.
Bull. I put in more than I care to admit. Listen, the way I see it, we work together, we move on faster. I got a job in Austin to get to that just hit my radar. Lots of money, no bleeding hearts.
Well, why don't you head to Austin now? Take that job and leave Argo to me.
That is not happening. We were good together. Truce. Sleep on it.
No way in hell, Coulter.
After what happened last time?
What did you say?
No, of course.
Good. Did you find anything at the gala?
Bet on more than one horse.
Exactly. Put a lot of money down on
championship round. 9
Right, Lily? She's right. Paying extra for things you don't need is never a good deal. At AT&T, you don't need our top-tier plan to get the new Samsung Galaxy S24 Plus.
Te dije que era buena idea tener madrina de good deals.
Obtén el nuevo Galaxy por cuenta nuestra con cualquiera de nuestros mejores planes. Garantizado.
Chevy Silverado. Con Super Cruise disponible, conectado por
Ik ben directeur voor 1 dag hier in het stadion.
Wauw.
Ja.
En voorspelling voor dit weekend?
Jullie moeten sowieso dikke punten pakken.
Dat is belangrijk, ja.
Ja, je mag ook eens een keer scoren.
Ja, dankjewel. Dat zou wel lekker zijn. Dat vind ik wel lief van je, man.
Sammy is een jongen die wat heel open is, wat heel eerlijk is. Altijd vrolijk, altijd aan het lachen. Ja, een schat van een kind.
Goedemorgen. Goeie reis gehad?
Ja.
Goed zo.
Toen Sammy geboren werd, toen hebben ze moeten reanimeren. Dus hij heeft een zuurstofgebrek gekregen. Waardoor hij dus een verstandelijke beperking heeft.
Sammy is hier ongeveer 2 jaar geleden komen werken. Een maatschappelijk project die een aantal jongens en meisjes begeleiden bij dagbesteding. En die alle
So I don't think it's an excuse.
We used to be able to tear the sod off the pitch when we were down there, you know? So it used to be much worse.
It used to be
not
worse.
that it's perfect or not that it's great, but they have made improvements.
It's definitely good. No, I don't think it's an excuse. You can't blame the pitch. I grew up playing on dirt fields. Like, you should be able to play in this.
And both teams are playing on this pitch. It's not just one, right? And you played with a leather ball. I mean, it moved along the pitch.
You played when it was black and white TV.
Kate, why are you laughing at that, Kate? That is not funny.
Oh dear.
It was only on radio.
Jerry World, it's a happy hunting ground for both teams. Mexico's record here, 9 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. The US, how about this? 4 wins in 4 games. Can they extend that perfect record tonight? Stay with us. Kickoff is getting very close here in Dallas. We'll be right back. Christian Pulisic really seems to enjoy playing against Mexico, scoring 3 of the United States' last 5 goals against El Tri. He has 4 career goals against them. That's just 2 shy of Landon Donovan's 6, which is the all-time mark, by the way. Welcome back, everybody. Good to have you with us still. I'm trying to find the... Oh, there you are. Hello, there's the camera. Kate, Clint, Jesse, and Charlie here with you. All the way up there, see, it took me a second to find it, with all the bright lights that are beaming into Clint's eyeballs. That's you that says that, not me. You've been complaining about all evening. Let's talk about the US and the tactics and the way they'll approach this game, because correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, but I think one of the things that you thought was an issue was Thursday with they just didn't seem to manage to hold shape well enough.
Yeah, I think that it'll be important for them to keep their tactical discipline, right? And I felt like against Jamaica, they got a little bit out of whack. So on this play, what you see at the start is Timothy Weah has leaned over to the left. So now there's a little bit of overload there. And now you see there's a big hole in the middle, and it's not good for either combination play or for counter pressing and protecting the counter, right? So we try to get over and create a little bit of a moment again where we create a little bit of a rotation. We come inside, and now when we lose these balls, there's big spaces in our midfield. If we leave that open for Mexico, they will be able to exploit that much better, much better than Jamaica did. Here's another one where we get into a little bit of the build-up phase. You see that the fullbacks aren't really in the picture. Robinson's way up high on the right. We don't really have an option with Scally on the left. Now, Weston McKennie turns into the midfield, and he needs to have options to play forward through the midfield, through line, so that we can break him down. And when he doesn't, he gets picked off, and they get Jamaica out on the counter. Here's first half. McKennie's playing as a 6th defensive midfielder. So is Musa. They lose the ball. There's a huge hole in the middle, and that sets up for the opponent to get on the counter. And again, think about Mexico. Think about their midfielders. Think about their fast attacking players being able to get out on the run and cause us trouble, and leaving our 2 center backs often in 2v2. Now, here's the second half. That's Gio Reyna and Tyler Adams, more in the defensive midfielder. The fullbacks are in good position. The team's holding their shape. We're trying to make little movements. And if we lose the ball, we're all available. The net is tight. Their closeness with each other means we can counter-press, win it back, and this can be a way to break down the opponent. From counter-pressing, we win the game. Now we get out on the counter, and we're a little bit unlucky not to come away with more. Here again, Reyna and Tyler winning this ball, looking to play forward. Pulisic loses it. There's Gio Reyna in the 6th position, counter presses, sees a little action with Haji right ahead of him, and that's how they get the second goal. So again, the structure is important for the in-possession tactics and the ideas of where they're going to play next, but maybe even more importantly, that we're not all spread out so that if we lose the ball, it sends Mexico out on the counter.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, to realize that earlier in the match, if you see a team that's sitting down in a low block, then you have to adjust. And those adjustments can't come after a goal has already been scored on you. So can Greg see that if Mexico do change and they sit back and they try and make it difficult, then to come down with 2 to open up a little bit more space?
Clint?
No, I agree. You know, it's a situation when you have 2 6s, when you break down, you're in better position to avoid the counter. And you get on the ball, there's more space in the middle, because sometimes it's almost like gets a little bit too congested, and sometimes everybody seems to be in a line. And when it breaks down, you got that counter attack like you talked about.
Yep.
And Mexico will expose us if we don't get that right.
And again, we didn't really have a natural 6 against Jamaica. Tyler will play, he'll anchor the midfield that way, and I think it will also, his way of circulating the ball and finding the right guys at the right time should mean that guys can be a little bit more patient. Everyone in front of them should be able to position themselves to think, all right, when Tyler gets the ball, I want to be available so he can play through lines, and then we can play little combinations and look to penetrate behind Mexico.
Can we talk about Gio Reyna? Because boy, did he look like a classy player on Thursday on the field against Jamaica.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Gio and Haji Wright for me were the men of the match, but at the same time, my complaint with Gio has never been what his quality is on the ball. It's whether he's getting play consistent week in and week out, and what he does on the other side of the ball. But here, he always has that ability to create, to find those passes. He's not scared. Takes a little bit of a bad touch here, doesn't panic, and look, good ball over for Haji Wright, who almost gets the goal that we need. I mean, he's always creating, and he's looking to play forward. Sometimes you talk about people, they only want to play side to side and back. Look, outside of the foot, plays the ball. Haji Wright with a little hezzy with the defender, and being able to have that composure to finish. That's what you need. You talk about finish, we don't have enough of it. But for me, this is the best play I've seen from Gio in the game. Because look, he's starting to do this now, win 50-50 challenges. And the more that he can do that and be dangerous on both sides of the ball, the better his future is going to be. And what a finish for Haji Wright. When you're in form, things seem to work out for you. And that worked out for him with that first bad touch.
And he could play in the tightest of windows. He can find those seams, which is so incredible. And Haji Wright, he's had a lot of success with Coventry playing on the left side. Now he's playing as the 9. So hold-up play, his movement. Confidence is confidence. You get in front of goal, you feel that he's going to put it away. But now the timing, being at the 9, is much different than playing on the left wing.
For me, Gio is the one player that's comfortable playing in tight spaces, not afraid when there's pressure coming, can move with the ball in an elegant way to make a little bit of space for himself. And then obviously the timing he has for the last pass is really special. So that can provide, that's going to be something that we're going to need again tonight, and I think he can really provide that for us.
So is Gio Reyna now another Christian Pulisic from back when Christian Pulisic was at Chelsea, where it just doesn't matter whether you're getting that regular playing time? You should be a shoe-in for the national team.
As long as the performance stay like this and they're consistent, then he's going to find himself on the pitch. But as soon as that level drops, and it eventually does because you get out of rhythm. If you're not playing for a long period of time, no matter what, you can't go 3 months without playing and all of a sudden step up with the national team.
But also you got to look at the situation. Christian was at Chelsea, and the competition you have for spots is a little bit different than Nottingham Forest. No diss against Nottingham Forest. They're a good team and they have good attacking players. But he needs to figure out he needs to figure out a way to play more regularly, because the team that Christian was on, they won Champions League.
Okay, fair. We talked a lot about the United States, so obviously Mexico. I'd like to touch on them as well. What should we be expecting to see from them, Charlie? How will they approach the game?
Well, aggressive, intensity at its peak, because you got to close down the Mexican players. We saw against Jamaica, they're a little bit slow. They gave too much space and allowed Jamaica to play in certain cases. Here, instant pressure, and then you got to be a little bit more direct.
They have to bring this crowd into the match. So I think for the first 5, 10, 15
They won't have
minutes,
to try very hard, will they?
Well, but I mean, they want to be aggressive. They don't want to go down. They don't want to allow the U.S. to feel like they're coming into the game. They have to be on top of the game. They have to be putting pressure. They have to be more direct. They have to be vertical. They have to use the crowd as a big advantage.
And use it to the right way. You look at the last CONCACAF Nations League semifinal that they had against each other. There were some red cards there. You got to be able to be smart and don't put your team down with getting a dumb red card.
And to build off that, physicality, Mexico's going to bring that. Going to try and slow the game down. Foul, being physical, and having the right reactions to those fouls is going to be key.
It's difficult to do, isn't it? Hey.
You're preaching to the choir here.
Very difficult. Oh, listen, what an atmosphere this is, by the way. This is special. This is great. It's fun to see this stadium so full.
I love this moment right before the game, and you're walking out and you can feel the anticipation of the crowd, the energy. That's what it's about.
Yes, sir. All right, well, we are just moments away now from kickoff here in Dallas. For those of you who are watching on the Golazo Network, reminder for you guys that game coverage of Mexico versus the U.S. continues, but it continues over on Paramount Plus, so make sure you switch over right after this short break. We'll be right back. See you in a second.
These two teams back in the Nations League final. This time the build-up, the anticipation, a little bit different. It is as big as it gets in our corner of the world, USA and Mexico.
Everyone knows U.S.-Mexico is as good as it gets, as big as it gets. So when you're in that locker room, it's like, oh, this is a real one. I have to come out and be ready. You cannot be scared.
Let's go, man. Hey, we're not the underdogs here anymore. So let's go out there and let's make a statement. Let's go. Come on, boys.
On 3, USA. 1, 2, 3, USA!
Buries it in the upper 90!
This is a crash course in CONCACAF.
What a chance it is to Mexico! Ariel Antuna.
Pulisic back post! He's got a second! Pulisic 2, Mexico 0.
It's like a boxing match. 12th round. Who has more heart?
That's a red card straight out of the pocket. Haji Wright is in! Haji Wright with the go-ahead goal! And on the chip, Orbelin Pineda! There is a new power dynamic at the top of CONCACAF. It's the final showdown between the USA and Mexico.
Very warm welcome back, everybody, to AT&T Stadium. What a fantastic atmosphere right now as we get ready for kickoff.